Have you ever looked at your daughter and felt an overwhelming wave of love so intense it almost frightens you? A protective instinct so fierce that you would move mountains for her, yet sometimes she challenges you in ways that bring you to your knees. Perhaps you've wondered why this little soul, of all the billions on earth, chose you to be her parent. If this question just stirred something deep in your heart, you're exactly where you need to be. Because what I'm about to share will reveal the sacred mystery behind why your daughter came into your life. You see, most parents in the world believe that having children is simply biology, genetics, or even blessed coincidence. But the great spiritual master Paramhansa Yogananda revealed something that changes everything about how we see our children. He lovingly taught us, no soul chooses its parents by accident. The parent-daughter bond carries a special sacred frequency. It is where the divine feminine learns to recognize itself through the mirror of unconditional love. If you've ever felt that there's something ancient and familiar about your relationship with your daughter, something that goes beyond this lifetime, then you already sense this profound truth. Your daughter is not just the child you brought into this world. She is a soul who has walked with you through many lifetimes, carrying within her the sacred feminine wisdom that your own soul chose to nurture and learn from. And I promise you, by the end of this sacred journey together, you'll never see your daughter the same way again. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through Yogananda's most profound teachings on why daughters come as both our greatest test and our greatest grace. But first, let me ask you something that might feel deeply familiar. Have you noticed how your daughter can touch your heart in ways no one else can? How she seems to carry an intuitive wisdom that sometimes surprises you? If you're feeling that recognition right now, you're already experiencing what Yogananda called the awakening of the sacred feminine, the recognition between souls who share the divine mission of nurturing love in this world. Yogananda explained it beautifully when he gently said, daughters do not come to be protected by their parents, but to teach their parents the true meaning of divine protection, love without possession, guidance without control. Now, you might be wondering how this actually plays out in your daily life as a parent, and here's where it gets truly fascinating. According to Yogananda's deepest teachings, before your daughter was born, your souls made what he called a covenant of the sacred feminine. She agreed to be your child, not just to receive your love, but to awaken in you the divine qualities of patience, intuitive wisdom, and fierce protective love that mirrors how the Divine Mother loves all creation. Think about your own experience for a moment. Can you remember the first time you held your daughter and felt that overwhelming sense of wanting to protect her from everything, yet knowing you had to let her find her own way? Take a moment to really feel that memory, because what you experienced was your soul recognizing the sacred paradox of divine love, holding on and letting go simultaneously. This feeling you just reconnected with? It's what Yogananda called the recognition of sacred purpose. Your soul knew that this little being would become your greatest teacher of unconditional love and divine surrender. And here's what transforms everything. In past lifetimes, she may have been the one protecting and guiding you. Now I want you to be completely honest with yourself for a moment. When you look at your daughter, especially in her most challenging moments, do you see just a child who needs guidance? Or do you sometimes sense an old soul testing your capacity to love without conditions? Your answer will reveal how awakened you are to the deeper spiritual purpose of your relationship. If you sensed that ancient wisdom, then you're ready for what comes next. Because now I'm going to share exactly how Yogananda taught parents to recognize the sacred feminine expressing through their daughters, transforming everyday parenting into profound spiritual service. The first technique he shared was what he called sacred feminine recognition, Let's practice this together right now. I want you to close your eyes for just a moment and see your daughter's face. Now, instead of seeing her as just your child, try to see her as Yogananda taught, a divine expression of the sacred feminine, here to awaken the divine parent within you. Silently repeat, I honor the sacred feminine in my daughter, and I recognize my role as guardian of her divine unfolding. Did you feel that shift in your heart? That's divine love recognizing its own reflection. If you felt even a small shift just now, imagine what happens when you practice this daily. But there's another practice that Yogananda said was even more transformative. He called it the Divine Mother's protection. When we learn to protect our daughters the way the Divine Mother protects all souls, with love, not fear, everything changes. Here's how Yogananda taught this sacred practice. The next time your protective instincts arise, take 3 deep breaths and silently say, Sacred Feminine, guide me to protect with wisdom, not worry. Help me trust in the divine plan for my daughter's soul. He promised that this practice would transform your parenting from anxious protection to divine guidance. Let me share a story that beautifully illustrates this truth. As I tell you this, I want you to ask yourself, how does my daughter challenge me to grow spiritually? There was a father who came to Yogananda deeply worried, saying, Master, my teenage daughter is making choices I don't understand. She's so independent, so fearless. I'm terrified something will happen to her. How do I protect her without controlling her? Yogananda looked at him with infinite compassion and said something that changed everything. My son, your daughter's fearlessness is not your burden to control. It is the sacred feminine expressing its divine courage through her. In past lives, you were a soul who struggled with trust in divine protection. Your daughter is teaching you that true protection comes not from controlling circumstances, but from trusting in divine grace and raising her consciousness to recognize her own divine nature. He then taught the father a powerful practice. Every morning, visualize your daughter surrounded by divine light, but instead of asking for her protection, give thanks for her courage and ask for wisdom to guide her toward her highest good. Every evening, write one way your daughter's independence taught you to trust divine will. And whenever fear arises, remember that the Divine Mother protects all her children through awakening their own divine wisdom. Within months, something miraculous happened. The father learned to guide without controlling, to love without possessing. His daughter, feeling truly trusted and honored, began sharing her dreams and challenges with him. Most beautifully, he realized, Master, my daughter has been teaching me how the Divine Mother loves, with complete trust in each soul's divine journey. When I share this story with parents, they often say with recognition, that's exactly what I needed to hear. And it probably is, because this same divine dynamic is playing out in countless parent-daughter relationships. The sacred dance of the sacred feminine teaching us to love with divine trust. Now here's what Yogananda wanted every parent to understand at the deepest level. He taught that daughters carry a special connection to the Divine Mother, the intuitive, nurturing, creative aspect of God. As he beautifully said, when you learn to see the sacred feminine expressing through your daughter, you begin to understand that you are not just raising a child, you are nurturing a divine soul who will carry the light of divine love into the world. Nene, if you're truly ready to step into this sacred understanding, then make this divine commitment right now. I will see my daughter as an expression of the sacred feminine on her own divine journey. I will guide her with wisdom, trust her with love, and learn from her as much as I teach her, knowing that through honoring the divine in her, I am honoring the Divine Mother in all creation. Say it with your whole heart. The sacred feminine is listening through your daughter. As Paramhansa Yogananda beautifully reminded us, the greatest gift you can give your daughter is not protection from the world, but recognition of the divine strength within her. When a daughter knows she carries the sacred feminine, she becomes a beacon of divine love wherever she goes. Before we part ways, I want to leave you with something sacred you can do right now. Take out your phone and write yourself one word that represents your new understanding of your daughter as an expression of the sacred feminine. Put it where you'll see it tomorrow when you interact with her. This simple act will anchor Yogananda's wisdom in your daily parenting and begin transforming how you see the divine unfolding through your daughter. If this message awakens something sacred in your heart as a parent, I'd be deeply honored if you shared it with another parent who needs this divine reminder today. Sometimes we become the vessel through which the sacred feminine reaches another soul. I'd love to know, what was that one sacred word you wrote down about your daughter? Share it in the comments below. Your word might be exactly what another parent needs to recognize the divine light in their own daughter. Until our souls meet again in divine love, may you see the sacred feminine teacher in the daughter who chose you as her guide. Remember, dear soul, your daughter is your test, but she is also your grace. Honor the divine covenant between your souls and watch as love transforms both of your journeys toward divine consciousness. Through honoring the sacred feminine in your daughter, you learn to honor the divine mother in all creation. This is Yogananda's greatest gift to every parent.